Yeah. Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of SuperShares powered by Q. My name is Joe Marquez, Director of Academic Innovation for Q. And you know what? It has been a hot minute since we've done a SuperShare episode. I know how difficult the end of the school year is leading into June. And right now we're in the midst of summer, and we don't want to take that away from you. And so we're not pushing out so many SuperShares, but when we have such an amazing bit of information for you, we have to break that summer cycle and bring information to you through our SuperShare episodes. So we're going to be doing that today. But while I have your attention, I want to make sure you know of a couple great opportunities for you to connect with other educators during the summer. One of them is our new Q Catalyst initiative, which is diving deeper into a singular topic to meet the needs of all of our educators. So back in May, we had a Q Catalyst event on AI in education. It was a fantastic event and it went off extremely well. So we're doing it again, but this time we are focusing on intentional technology use in the primary grades. That's right. So all of you K through 3 educators out there looking to infuse more ed tech into your classroom, definitely go to qlearns.org/CCK3 to sign up today. It is free for Q members. That's right, 100% free for Q members. So go and sign up today. And as always, we love to bring things to you that are going to kind of just change your trajectory in the classroom. And that's what Q conferences do. And we do have Fall Q coming up here in October, right? In the great northern part of the great state of California, right there at San Joaquin County Office of Ed and Teachers College of San Joaquin, we will be hosting once again Fall Q 2023. It will be happening October 21st and 22nd. That is a Saturday and Sunday. And you can go and register today with our early bird pricing till the end of July. And you just have to go to fallq.org to register. All right, so that's enough Q promos to get out of the way. But we have a great episode ahead because we have a great opportunity for you to really flex your lesson designing muscles for the betterment of all educators in California through a brand new initiative. And I'm going to bring my friend, Dr. Edward Gonzalez, onto the screen to talk a little bit more about this opportunity. Eddie, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being, as you were listening to the opening, we haven't done a SuperShare in a while. We wanted to give teachers a break, right? Well-deserved break. But when we have amazing bits of information that we need to share to get them ready for the next year, to give them opportunities to flex their muscles in education, we want to bring that to them. And you have a fantastic initiative that we want to make sure our Q members are aware of. But before we do that, would you please introduce yourself to the audience and a little bit about your history in education and what your current role is today?
First of all, thanks, Joe. Excited to have this opportunity to share with you, and especially seeing all these new initiatives coming through from Q. It's exciting. I've been involved with Q for quite a few years now. I've gone to local presentations, especially in the Central Valley. And my background, I started out as a math and ELA intervention teacher at high school, did intervention again at the middle school level. I wanted to really know kind of what I can do to support all learners. And I shot my shot all the way down to 3rd grade. So I really got a lot of experience with students in at promise settings, got some district experience. And then right now I'm working at the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, where I'm the director of California's Open Educational Resources.
And tell me a little bit about that, Eddie, because you're at basically a district office, but this initiative is a partnership, right? Not just through Kern County, but through the greater California Department of Education. Can you tell me how this comes about and what, and if our viewers don't know what an open education resource is, can you explain a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, definitely. So the state of California puts out contracts, and this was a competitive contract that was awarded to the Kern County Superintendent of Schools. And so this contract is for us to facilitate lesson design institutes and the gathering of resources created by teachers and organizations, and then uploading them all onto a platform being a website. So essentially what we're doing is we're running lesson design institutes up and down the state and virtually. We're paying teachers to create lessons and then to add them onto the website, CaliforniaEducatorsTogether.org or CAEducatorstogether.org.
And so what you're saying is that educators can come in and create a lesson through a very specific lesson design process, and you're going to explain how they can be a part of that.
Correct.
But they get paid. This isn't just like, because I know there's a lot of educators out there that love to share their lessons, right, on social media, and they just give it away, right? But doing what they're already doing and getting paid for it, I think that's a fantastic opportunity for educators. Can you let us know how, like the process to become a part of the lesson design writing team and what it takes to get in on this amazing opportunity?
So we've had a couple of virtual institutes, and for those, you can go ahead and sign up. You're going to see on the bottom, scrolling across, the Lesson Design Institute registration. So we had a couple virtual ones. We had our first in-person one here in Bakersfield in Kern County. That's our own home county. And that was a pretty exciting event. We had about 60 educators attend from up and down across the state. And then, we fed them. They get a reimbursed travel stipend. And then it's a 2-day training where we walk you through the process of our rubric and the template that we use to get lessons uploaded onto the platform. We're really proud to say that the rubric that we've designed came with input from teachers all up and down the state of California. And ultimately, what we discovered through this process is that California educators care about student-centered learning and really bringing out the pieces of equitable lesson design instruction.
Yeah, and as we've talked about this previously, one of the things that I find very unique and bold about this is that we have a lot of educators in this state that create lessons, every day. They look at their school community, they look at the students they have in their classroom coming in, and they try and tier lessons that will benefit the students in front of them now, right? Not students that they had 4 or 5 years ago.
Correct.
But sometimes our educators, they don't feel that they have a strong backbone, a strong framework in how to write a lesson design that would be accepted into the California Department of Education resources, right? And so that, that fear, I would say, would hold them back from signing up. And what you're doing is you're creating an institute to give the teachers the time to learn this rubric, to see this rubric, to give feedback on this rubric, and to empower themselves to feel confident in that writing process so they can share what's most important, and that's their flavor of education for their student population. Is that correct?
Correct. So we wholeheartedly believe that the magic sauce in education, if there is one, is the individual teacher and how the teachers are able to react and reflect on the individual needs of the students that they're serving and the communities that they're serving. One of the beautiful things for us as we've gone through this process, especially over the past year, is we're seeing all the pieces that we have in common up and down the state. You see teachers with the same hopes, you see students with the same dreams, you see, the same CSU system, you see the same, you see the teachers that love the Starbucks early in the morning. Like, it's all happening up and down across the state. But what anchors our work is when teachers are coming into our institute, what we're introducing them to or solidifying is the integrated ELD component to serve the needs of our EL students in California, and the UDL component. So we're hoping you bring that magic, whatever that magic is, whatever that passion is, you're bringing it, but we're ensuring that lessons that come onto the platform are standards-based, they have integrated ELD, and they have UDL. And we walk you through very clearly what that looks like within a lesson plan. And then it gets uploaded and it gets shared on our platform.
And what I love is, a lot of times, again, depending on student population, educators may not be thinking about that ELD component, right? Or they may have been told what UDL is, but they don't know how to implement that into a lesson. And so your institute We'll bring that to the surface, to bring that up front. Like every lesson should have an ELD component to ensure that it's equitable and accessible for all students. And then that UDL, right? Creating a lesson that will help students achieve during the design process. Could you explain a little bit about some of the common additions, I would say, like during the institute, on how you would showcase examples of UDL or ELD being implemented into a lesson design? If like an educator came up and like, here's my lesson, like, but you haven't incorporated the ELD component. Yeah. Here's a few examples.
So let's think about we're gonna riff right here. So go ahead, pick a topic, pick a subject, and let's go.
All right, let's do investigation into the atomic structure. Right?
Investigation into the atomic structure. What let's see, what standard or grade level more or less would that be? Would that be
so let's say that it's an introduction. So let's say 4th or 5th grade, and you're just learning about the nucleus, the subatomic particles, protons, neutrons, and electrons, and their locations around the nucleus.
Okay, so if we're looking at it from a UDL lens, I think one of the kind of misconceptions that happens when teachers are coming into the institute is they'll say, oh, well, if it has UDL, that also serves the needs of EL students, which is correct. There's a lot of like UDL that will support the needs of EL students. But my best example is thinking about a student that's at promise. So let's think of a student that might be, they might have some trauma, some different things that have happened in their life. So if you're designing your lesson and you're thinking about, I'm working in an intervention class, and you're looking at it through the framework of UDL, you can modify and adjust your lesson in a way that promotes expectations and beliefs that optimize like their motivation. So the way that you can help them set goals, the way that you can help them monitor whether they were able to achieve those goals, being able to give them like personal coping skills and strategies within the lesson, like how can you monitor breaks, how can you make things flexible for them. Okay, so you've added those pieces to your lesson. In your lesson, you've described, these are the students I'm working with. This is why I added these components to the lesson. But now we're going to add another, piece to it, which is, okay, so let's say that this student is a brand new EL student, to the state of California. The EL student has 4 months. So all those UDL components that you have added into your lesson are ensuring that that student will have access to the lesson, and that they'll be successful with staying in your class. But that in of itself isn't going to support their learning of English. And so we'll also then give you basically we use a lot of the ELD frameworks and resources to kind of help you select what would you do specifically for a newcomer EL student to help them once you've integrated those those UDL components. And the trick to it is that what you do for a newcomer student would look very different than what you would look for a student that might be a long-term student. So for example, like a newcomer student, you can use graphic organizers and have them kind of go off of the graphic organizer as they learn those topics. But with a student that's a long-term English learner that might be further down on their levels, you would be requiring them to do like the academic language, requiring them to present and share. And so that's everything that we pick apart within the lessons.
And, I love this because, educators, when they are crafting lessons for their students, they may feel like, oh, you know what, I'm not an expert in English language learners. So maybe I will write my lesson and then I'll go to the expert on campus who works with that population of students, and maybe they'll give me some examples. But what I love about the Lesson Design Institute is you are empowering the teachers to become their own experts, to identify what is needed for the students instead of you having to go out and there's nothing wrong about reaching out to experts on your campus, by the way. That's fantastic. But empowering the teachers to see it first, right?
I want to emphasize that a lot of teachers, especially here in California, they're already doing a lot of these things. And some of this is us even just kind of identifying those strategies and kind of putting a name to it. So I think sometimes, especially like when we're visiting the class, if you'll see like this magic happening, right? And sometimes we'll say, oh, they're a good teacher, but why exactly are they a good teacher? They're a good teacher because they're doing X, Y, and Z, and teachers are already doing those things. And so a part of this institute for us is really trying to call out what those strategies are that you might be doing, and then introducing you to other people and putting you in an environment where you can hear and learn all the other strategies as well as the best practices.
Yeah, I love the way you put that, because it's like, teachers, you're already doing this. We're just putting a name to it. We're already doing this, but we're just identifying it and calling it out in the lesson plan so that it can be referenced, right?
Yeah.
And I think that alleviates some fear. And there's always going to be a little bit of fear when you're designing lessons, because teachers like, I don't know, like if I actually uploaded this to the open resource platform that we're going to be sharing with everybody, like, would it be accepted? I don't know if I write that well. I think that fear is always there. And I love the fact you pointed out, yes, you do write that well. You're just not aware of it. We're helping you become aware of how great of a writer you are.
So teachers, we're a funny bunch. It's a pretty humble group. And more often than not, what I'm seeing is a teacher say, well, I'm not too sure about this. And then I'm looking, it's like, this is fantastic. This is exactly what, we're hoping for. And I think that's not an official goal here of the entire project, but for me personally, that is a goal. A goal is to empower. We're talking about empowering students, but empower teachers, showcase teachers, and really show, like, this is what we do in California. This is and this is why we do it this way. And even especially looking at like organizations like you build a community around like-minded individuals. And this is, again, like another a community as well, to, again, empower teachers, put those best practices out there. And then we want you walking out feeling good, feeling like, this is what I came for.
Yeah, and I'm going to bring up the website again, so I can ask you a little bit about the registration process and the different institutes you're holding. But those of you watching right now, there is that link down at the bottom, QLearns.org/CET_LDI, right? So California Educator Together _Lesson Design Institute. But if you do have your smartphone available for you right now, if you're watching this live, get it out, scan this. If you're watching this in the future, you can pause it and scan it. It'll take you right to the website that we're about to showcase for you. But here's the website right here. And I've expanded it to look at the Lesson Design Institute. So here it shows that on July 18th and 19th, which is going to be next week, this week, because we're airing this on Wednesday.
Yesterday,
right? We're doing this into the past and future. So, like, if they register for this, that's a 2-day face-to-face institute. How many educators do you expect to attend each of these institutes for the face-to-face component?
It depends. We're refining our process and how we're able to do them. Right now, our sweet spot for the San Diego one is we've got about 90 to 100 that will be showing up. That San Diego one is done in partnership with the UC San Diego Science Project. And then the Escondido Union High School District is also bringing a large cohort of teachers. And so these are all people who've already got lessons. Before you come to our institute, we're asking you to have just a couple lessons ready that are standards-based. So you show up to our institute with your lessons, and then it's through the institute that we push, that we guide you through that. The submission process, as well as what we're expecting when we're looking at the UDL and the integrated ELD components.
And then there's a follow-up virtual component.
Correct.
So for the San Diego one on July 18th and 19th, that's the face-to-face. The one right below it, August 25th and 26th, is that the component to San Diego?
No, that one's a standalone virtual one. So if you go in person, it's $1,000 reimbursement that you'll get once your lessons are completed and vetted. So once we have a vetting process. We have a team over here that carries you through it. We have office hours. We have all those pieces there to support you, to make sure that you get your lessons done. And then it's $1,000 reimbursement for in person. When you do it virtual, it's $500.
Excellent. So that's fantastic. And it looks like, San Diego, that's a great location. Down here at the bottom, that's the one I'm eyeing, May 17th and 18th in Asilomar. That is a fantastic facility. California State Park, shout out to them. They do a great job there. It looks like it's a really great experience, not only learning that lesson design, but the opportunity to meet educators from across the state, from that area that you may not have been I do have a couple questions. So once the lessons are done and they get turned into you, they upload it to the resources, right? So is that
Correct.
this option up here where it says resources at the very top of the screen?
No, when you log in, when you log in, there's a process, and there'll be different groups and different places in there where you'll be able to get the lessons. And then the lessons that are coming out of our institute are designated with a little, it's like a little gold star that says it passed our vetting process.
Oh, so educators, maybe if they didn't attend these institutes, there's still an opportunity for them to share some of the lessons they've already made and upload it to the platform. If they just wouldn't have that gold star next to it, identifying it as a completed Lesson Design Institute crafted product, correct?
Correct. They can upload them, but anything that they upload that doesn't get vetted doesn't go public. So it's essentially, it would be like their own private drive. So you can go in there and you could have it like as your own private drive and have your own lessons and upload your own resources, but they wouldn't go public. Everything that's going public and everything that goes public will be lessons that are vetted, as well as resources that come out of different organizations.
Excellent. That's fantastic to know. And I don't know if anybody has seen this website before, but if this is your first time with it, definitely jump around here. If you're considering registering, definitely click on that register button and see what that's all about. But also definitely register and log in and play around with it and check out all the resources that are already available. And if this is something that really piques your interest, definitely, Eddie, how can they reach out to you? Like, are you on the socials? Is the California Educators Together entity on the socials they can reach out to? How can somebody reach out and be like, I'm considering this, but I need a little bit more information?
So first, you want to get onto the platform, and then there you'll also see our socials. You'll see all our information. We are right now. We're pretty active now on social media. I think our TikTok game is my favorite at this moment. Our Instagram's pretty strong. Twitter's doing all right. You know, that's definitely an educator space. Unfortunately, we haven't branched out into Threads yet, but we'll be there soon.
Well, you got to get on the wait list for Blue Sky right now. I'm saying it right now. Get on Blue Sky and start lighting that up. No, the last thing, Eddie, I want to say is, and this is just a question for me.
Yeah, go for it.
Have you dabbled into generative AI with this? Now, I'm not saying like completely writing lessons, because it will do that. Yeah. But I guarantee you it's not as great as an educator crafted lesson. But have you dabbled with maybe having a teacher write the lesson and then upload it to, let's say, ChatGPT or Bard and say, can you identify or add in UDL components to make this lesson better? Have you dabbled with that? Have you taken a look at that?
We've had some people talk about it, but I think that's what kind of opens up the opportunity. Like, let's say you're a teacher and you say, my students need to be doing AI. I want my students, to be at the forefront of that and to even understand how that can be used as a tool, right? Because a lot of the pieces that come out of AI, we talk about it negatively in terms of, like, oh, there's plagiarism, that's all that. But it's also a tool, correct? And a tool that can be used powerfully. So if you're a teacher and you say, hey, I have some lessons that I'd like to go onto the platform, that would be the opportunity for you to come onto the platform or come onto one of our institutes, put them through the process, and then boom, like the curriculum that hasn't existed before will now exist thanks to your ideas.
Yeah, I love this. And again, open education resources allow those educators to learn from each other, get some ideas of lessons you may never have thought of. And I think you'll agree with me, Dr. Gonzalez, that taking somebody else's lesson and then remixing it to meet the needs of those students that are in front of you now, correct. I think that's probably the most powerful part of this, is that you don't need to take these lessons as a cookie cutter and just clone them. You take them, remix them to meet the needs of the students in front of you now, correct?
Correct. That's the entire gist of the show there. You have a unique community of students that you're serving. There's a robust framework, coming down from the California Department of Education to ensure you meet the needs of your students. And more than anything, there's a big community of teachers out there who are doing that work. And for us as an organization, our goal is to really amplify the work that these organizations are doing, So for example, like when we're doing the KCI Institute there, the Cross Center for Innovation, they're doing project-based learning, and it's amazing and great work. And so, we're hosting our institute there in partnership with them. They're going to be uploading their lessons onto the platform. And then boom, a teacher that can hear through Q will also be able to see what's happening over there at KCI, or they'll be able to see what's happening down there at the UC San Diego Science Project. We've got a new partnership with other organizations focusing on dual language. And it'll be a space where you can see who these different communities are. And then for me personally, I know that that's important because like I said, I've been a part of the Q community for a while. And that's what it all comes down to. It comes down to the teachers and then what we're able to do together, and that warm feeling we get when I see somebody from Twitter in person.
No, I love that. I love that. And not only are you making connections, not only are you leveling up your skills as an educator, you're being exposed to lesson design features that you may never have thought of, and new opportunities, new lessons that maybe you yourself wouldn't have come up with, but because you now have this educator community and this vast repository of open education resources, they now have something they can go into the school year on a stronger footing and a more confident footing. And that's what it's all about, is making sure we empower educators just as much as we empower students.
Correct.
All right. Well, Dr. Gonzalez, Eddie, I appreciate you being here. I know the Q community, as we say, are going to be all over this. I'm going to make sure that we not only share about this on this SuperShare, but we'll be posting about this and how to get involved through our social media and in the Q community portal. If you're not a Q member yet, just go to q.org and sign up today and join that Q community there as well. Well, Eddie, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much, my friend. I look forward to more work, more partnership with yourself and California educators together throughout time. So thank you so much. And we'll see you at Fall Q. Absolutely.
All right.
Oh my goodness. I love talking to Eddie. I mean, Eddie and I once were a part of a keynote battle. I don't know if you would call it that. It was very fun. He had a fantastic keynote, and I think he's an amazing mind. And when I heard he was taking on this directorship position for this unique opportunity, I knew that this program was going to rock, because he rocks everything that he does. And again, Dr. Gonzalez loves Fall Q, and so do I. So definitely register today. Go to fallq.org and register for this amazing event in Northern California. And at the end of this month, July 29th, it is virtual. Intentional Tech in the Primary is our Q Catalyst event this month. So definitely register. It is free for all Q members. And as always, thank you so much, everybody, for being part of the most amazing community in the history of the world, and that is the education community. Because day in and day out, we change the world from the bottom up. Have yourselves a fantastic rest of your summer, but most importantly, a fantastic and amazing day.